Hi, I'm Teresa Crawley from Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado, and today I'm going to show you an awesome unit we just got traded in. It's a 2022 Winnebago View. Happens to be my very favorite floor plan and one of my very favorite units that we sell here, but this one just happens to be slightly used, just over 15,000 miles on it, but it is in awesome shape. There's a lot of things that I really love about this unit. One is that it sleeps up to 6 people. We also have a really good amount of storage in here, a nice open floor plan, and all of the power that you could need for camping. It's very simple to learn how to use the Navion. That's one of the reasons that I love it so much, and it is built on the Mercedes chassis. So we have a turbo diesel 188 horsepower engine on here. These things drive so smoothly, so nicely. If you're new to motorhomes or you just like driving a really nice vehicle, this is the one for you. A lot of Class C's are built on a gas chassis, and they're just not as fun to drive. They're a lot noisier, and they don't have as much acceleration. So that's why this wins with so many people as a favorite. Just to get going here, we have the start of our living area really is the cab. So both of these front seats can be turned around, and you'll see I have a little booster on here, and they include those just so that when these seats are turned around, the height difference doesn't make your knees up into your chin. So that's what that's for. You'll see there's a silver plate here on the floor, and that's a place you could put an additional table. It does come with that table, and it's stowed away in the back closet. I don't know that you would need it all that often because we have this really great booth set up here, which can seat quite a few people, and it even has these extra footrest / seats if you needed those. I love this booth setup for a few reasons. One, because this table can move around. You can sit and watch TV from this booth area. Also, this can be taken off and then it will become the bed area. But one of the other things that I really like about this is that they made these really nice hinged seats so that you can access all of this storage that's all the way around this booth. So every one of these seats lifts up for a lot of additional storage. So I'll give you a peek at that one too. Really well thought out for families and just for being able to utilize every bit of space that you have. We also have 3 storage cabinets up above, and you'll notice they're on this really nice white European cabinetry, but these silver things serve not only as a handle, but once you push them in, they become a lock. So when you're going down the road, they're not going to be rattling, making a lot of noise, or flying open for that matter. The other thing to point out is that they have this really great felt carpeting that's going to help with noise, vibration, and again, things moving around when you're going around corners and things like that. And I'll lock those all up. Over here we have what would be considered your sofa. And it's also a Murphy bed tucked behind here. So under the sofa, we do have a little bit more storage. Again, on one of these really easy to lift, hinged seats. And then here, I'll show you how this bed works. It's really quite easy. Go in here and I can drop this down in about 6 seconds. So there's your bed ready to go for the day. Another great thing about this is that you can leave your bedding on here, including your pillows, and there's room for them once the bed is folded up. So when the bed is down, you'll see we have 2 more of those great storage places. We also have reading lights on both sides of the bed and a window that opens on this side of the bed so you can get a little cross breeze in. We also have 110 outlets on both sides of the bed. And I'll put this bed up so you can get a good look at those. Really comfortable fabrics and The padding on these is really nice to sit on. Actually, Winnebago makes most of their furniture at the factory, and these are no exception. I've seen the ladies working away on these in the factory. They do a great job, and they really do stand the test of time. This doesn't tend to break or peel, anything like that, so nothing to worry about, but it's also quite easy to clean off. Just a wet rag, and these things come clean really easily. So another great feature of this. Moving into, we'll look at the kitchen area here, and that starts with this pantry that we have. Now you'll see some things throughout that the previous customers added. I think they're all great, but they'd be easy to take off if you don't agree. For example, these bumpers that are in here, that's just gonna keep down the rattle and things moving around. But you can see these are really nice full extension drawers, 3 of those here. And then we have one more shelf down here, right above where your breaker box is. Right here, of course, we have your refrigerator freezer. Nice and deep freezer here too. It's a little bit hard to see that on camera, but it's a pretty good amount of space. And above there, we have your solar charge controller. So this does have solar already added. And we also have this one-place screen that just tells you what your battery levels are, how your tank levels are, and you can turn on or off your water pump from this location as well. Right here is a slide control. We'll bring that slide in a little bit later so that you can see what it looks like when everything is closed up in here. But for now, we'll keep moving on. In the kitchen, we have a great storage area, your inverter controller, as well as your diesel generator start stop right there. We can also turn on the holding tank heater, and what that means is there's a heat pad on the water tank to keep it from freezing. So that's just an extra protection along with insulation and things like that that are going to keep your water tanks from freezing. Over here, I love that they did this. They give you an induction burner as well as a propane burner. So you can choose if you're running low on a certain kind of energy, your propane's running low or your electricity is running low. You can use both or you can choose one or the other. So great optional ways to cook. Then down here we have these full extension drawers. You may not be able to see, but they light up when you open them. They've got a little sensor in here. And then those can also be locked as those other cabinets were too. So 3 of these here. They also have a soft closing feature, so they'll kind of pull themselves in at the end there. Right here we have a convection microwave oven. So that means you can bake and crisp in here. And one more storage drawer down here. Obviously, we've got your TV here, but behind here, there is hidden a paper towel holder, a sound bar, and the ability to, if you wanted to put a satellite dish or Starlink or something, there's already the wiring and a port there for you to add that. And that's going to save you quite a bit of an expense if you do choose to do that down the road. Back here, we obviously have your window, and I have the screen pulled down right now. These screens are so cool because they lock to the full darkening shade that's at the bottom. So they're integrated, they don't make a lot of noise like some other blinds and things would do when you're in a motorhome. And then the windows are the star of the show. Dual pane acrylic, and they are slightly tinted, but they can be open just a smidge, or they can be open to stay at a very big angle like that. So it's up to you how much air you want to let in, and then they can just be locked right back away. Put that up for now. Over here, one more storage for your kitchen, and you can see the last customer that owned this put in a little shelf for you. They did add quite a few little things that I feel like are super helpful. So over here we have a double stainless steel sink with a little sprayer on your faucet here. And just so you know, we've got 30 gallons of fresh water capacity on here, 41 each of black and gray, and 12 gallons of propane. I like to show the underneath of the sink because they didn't do a lot of fussy building down here. They left the pipes kind of exposed, and that's actually of benefit to you because you can put more stuff in there. You'll also see down there we have a whole house or a water filter. So you know how when you go to other states they just don't treat the water the same, it kind of can taste funny. So it's really nice to be able to change out your filter once in a while when you need it. Let's check out the bathroom, and then we can bring the slide in. So back bathroom, it's well equipped, but it is, you know, small because we're in a really small unit. This 25 feet 6 inches total. But the shower we have set up so that there is a hanging bar in there. That can be popped out when you don't need it, but it's great if you need to dry off your swimsuits after a day of fun. Also has a great skylight in there. That's going to give you a lot more headroom for our taller folks that are trying to take a shower. We do have blinds here. Obviously your toilet is right here. Little medicine cabinet. A shelf that the previous owner added. And then we've got our little sink, this little flip up that the previous customer added as well. And then a bunch of storage underneath here. This coach is also equipped with a Truma AquaGo. That's a tankless hot water heater. So as much water as you have, you can have hot water pretty quickly. It's a really, really nice feature to not have to wait for the 6-gallon water tank to heat up again. Just to have a continuous stream is really nice. So one family member can jump in right after the other. We do have a really great closet back here. I'm gonna have to have my camera guy come in here to look at it. But it's pretty deep and it's accessible from the outside. But this is that table that I told you about earlier. And then we have a hanging bar, and it goes quite a bit back to the back of the coach as well. So quite a bit of space in there for putting luggage, even golf clubs, things like that could fit in there quite easily. All right, I'm gonna bring this slide in, and then we can get a peek at what this looks like when it's closed up. I'm doing something wrong. I turned the ignition off. I'm sorry. You have to have the ignition running on the Winnebago. So let's get that going. Sorry about that. All right, now we'll get it pulled in. All right. It's a good idea to always keep an eye on your slide while it's moving. Make sure it's not hitting the front seats or the curtain that's over the cab. And I actually just realized I forgot to mention that there is a full-size bed up here over the driver. So really, really easy to deploy. There's a ladder right here you can hook right on there, but it's a really good sized bed. That's why I was saying you could sleep 6 people. There's reading lights, there's 2 windows for cross breeze, all kinds of things up here, and these really great little privacy curtains. I think any kid would appreciate that area, but honestly, it's big enough for 2 full-size adults to sleep up there as well. And then when you're done, you just flip that up. It's not heavy, it's really easy to do. Makes a really great area for the cab when you're driving. It makes it feel a lot less claustrophobic, a lot airier and light. So I really like that feature. So again, we're on the Mercedes chassis, Mercedes engine.
How can I help?
And they are equipped with this Mercedes function that will do navigation for you. You can say, hey Mercedes, navigate to grocery store, and she will find a list for you and then send you on the one you choose to, or coffee stores, things like that. I'm still talking, so she's a little confused, but it can do that. She can also change the temperature, change the radio station, things like that. So really handy that you don't have to take your hands off the wheel to get that stuff done. Pretty simple up here. We've got push button start. We've got powered doors, powered windows, powered locks, and our seat is powered with a memory seat here. So we've got that as well. Really, really easy to drive this thing. Your transmission shifter is right here, so you can just do that without looking away to the side. I appreciate anything that's going to help keep our eyes on the road. So we're going to turn this guy off and then check out the outside. So as I said before, this is a pre-owned 2022 unit, very low mileage, and it is in excellent shape. It does have a few little scratches on the outside, but that's just one less thing you have to worry about getting the first ding on it, in my opinion. Your Navions have changed quite a bit. Views and Navions are the same product, if you didn't know that. But they've changed quite a bit lately, and the price has gone up almost, I mean, it's a lot. So I'm happy to give you a quote on a newer one if you're interested. But I love that you still get the great functionality on this at a much lower cost because it's pre-owned. But I'll tell you, for those of you who are out of town or don't want to bother coming out here until you're sure, I'm one of those salespeople that will be very honest with you. I'll tell you if there's smells, scratches. I can go through every last detail of this thing with you. And I can tell you right now, this does not smell. So that's a great thing right from the get-go, right? On our way out, there's a few things for me to point out. One is that we have an integrated screen door right here. Great little grab handle here. We have your smart leveling system here. Very, very easy to use. Push power, auto level, and you will be level. Power, all retract when it's time to get going. If it's not quite done, it's going to be setting alarm off and letting you know that it is not complete, the jacks aren't completely up. Also, right at this door, we have your awning light. We have a battery disconnect for the house. We have a step control here, so if you don't want the step coming in and out every time you open the door, you can actually disconnect that so it stays out while you're parked. Say you're barbecuing or something and you're opening the door a lot, that's something you're going to want to do. As soon as you put the vehicle into drive, these steps are going to automatically know to come in though. Chassis disconnect is right here. So as you're walking out the door, you can easily turn these disconnects off and all your power will stop. So you can walk away and not worry about your battery getting eaten up. So we've got full body paint on here. What that means is there's no decals or stickers on here. They're not going to fade, crack, look yucky after a few years. This is actually paint and it's going to stay looking like paint. It's a beautiful coach. We're down here, we've got your first storage bay. And the thing I wanted to point out about this is plastic. Winnebago makes these at the factory, which is actually really great because they can get the maximum amount of storage space that they can for this exact unit. If they order them from another company, they have to kind of make whatever they've got work, and you potentially are going to be losing a lot of storage. Right here, we have a little outlet, so if you wanted to spray this out with water to clean it, you have a little place for it. And then right here we have your diesel generator. That is an option upgrade for this coach. That means that it's going to pull directly out of your diesel tank. You don't have to worry about your propane running out as quickly. We do have 12 gallons of propane on this coach, and that is what's going to feed this little quick connect right here. So if you wanted to grill outside, you could just hook up to that very easily. This storage is right below that closet storage in the bedroom. So you could potentially take this piece of wood out and then you would have a full-length storage place right here, or just keep it separated if you wanted to do it that way too. And just one more storage here. Easy to clean, plastic. Also, just because I said plastic and I thought, oh no, I hope people don't think it breaks a lot, I've never once in my 9 years of selling motorhomes seen a Winnebago storage thing crack ever. So they're really well made. Don't worry about that part. We obviously have a ladder integrated here. This is so that you can check your solar panels to see that they don't have debris on top of them, clean them, make sure all of your seals are intact, things like that. You're going to want to do that about once a year, or if you've been camping under trees, you're going to want to check them as well, make sure there's not branches and things up there. We do have a backup camera right there, and that auto-populates onto that screen in the cab area when you put it into reverse automatically. Right here we have a 5,000-pound towing capacity hitch and a 7-way pin connector there. If you want to bring a little boat or a trailer with anything on it, you've got 5,000 pounds to do so. In here we have your 30 amp hookup. So if you are at a campsite, you can hook up right with that. And we also have your outdoor dump station. You have an outdoor shower there if you wanted to wash off your dog or your feet before you get in the coach. We also have a black tank flush, and that's just going to help keep it smelling fresh in here. Really a smart idea. Not all motorhomes have that, and that's kind of a mystery to me because it seems like that's something you'd really want to keep clean. But you'll see what looks like an awning here. This is actually our large full wall slide that we had out before. That's a slide topper. So it's not an awning, it doesn't extend beyond the slide itself. What it does is protect the slide when it's out from getting debris in there, water, snow, leaves, all of that stuff. It's going to help kick that out when you bring that slide back in rather than taking it inside where you don't want it. Right. One more storage bay here. And then there is your propane tank that I was telling you about. So the propane tank has a few functions. The quick connect we just saw, one of the burners in the kitchen, the heater. It does a few things, but it's nice that you have different sources of power to power this unit. For example, your generator runs off the diesel rather than the propane in this coach. So you're going to be really well balanced as far as when you go camping, not have to rush out and just fill the propane over and over and over. You've got different sources that you're getting things from. So this is a really nice unit, I promise you. If you're looking for a Navion or a View, I really feel like this could be a great unit for you. So please give me a call. Ask for me by name. I'm Teresa Crawley at Transwest in Frederick, Colorado.